Okay, I'm going to do a backtesting video on the strategy and direction, when to stick to the same direction and when to change it, and staying out of those losing trades of thinking the direction's still in play but we've actually flipped. So right now all we have on the screen is this 4-hour order block, this 4-hour order block. We're going to the 4-hour, we closed the high for this order block, didn't really close the exact low for this order block, tiny range here, we did close this one, so we can expect a bit of a flip here. On a smaller time frame, I don't actually use the 1 hour, but on a smaller time frame, have already closed this and tested this, so there's not really much of a reason to hold here, but we closed here, so we can obviously hold this hourly order book, which is the 4-hour one, but we're only expecting it to flip direction momentarily, because in the grand scheme of things, we closed the more exterior high to go higher. If we jump down to 15-minute, close this high, already tested this range, showing us that we're already holding it. Might not be a reason to come down to the order block, we still can. Reasons why I say that as well is because the actual high for the order block, which is here, of the whole entire range, is the same order block than it is for this range. And we just closed that there. So what we kind of want to see here is if this range can hold us to go higher and then break this high, because our target is long up to here, but I think momentarily, because we've closed this, we can short down to either here or see if we can get all the way back down. So if we cut the candles a few candles back, the moment we hit that level here, I'd now be looking to change direction. So I'll be wanting to see if a bait range can be created and then hold that. So we have a high and a low, so I want to see if this can hold. It does hold. So now that it holds, haven't tested down anyway yet. We want to try and take a trade off of this candle. And the fair value gap as well is here. So we've got two things here. I'd rather if you went for the order block, like I said in the previous video, but we can mark at this, and anything, for me, anything in this range here, I would take. You just have to start looking at it like, let's have a stop loss here instead of here, because if you have it here, and you've not tested the order block yet, this is if you've not tested the order block. If you've tested the order block, just have your stop loss above whatever candle it is. But if you've not tested the order block and you're trying to go for a inversion fair value gap or fair value gap, just have it at the high of that order block to the left that you're looking to test off of. So trades up. Okay, so what you would do here is you either, once the midpoint of this candle gains, you have your stop loss here or here, wherever. Having it here is a lot more likely to stop you out, because it could ping up a couple more ticks, hit the order block and then go down. So I think if you're going for these entries right now without the order block getting tested, you can still take them, just have your stop loss above the order block of the range you're testing into. So what you would do here is you would go here or here. I think if it comes to any of these, you're going to get stopped out anyway. Have it there, and then you're targeting just here. That's 1 hour. That's all you need to do. We think it's going to go lower, so can target all the way down to there if it looks like it's going lower, but I wouldn't look up any less than 1 hour, just like I say in the strategy. So you gain it there, hooked up 1R. If you did just take profit. If not, you could trial, whatever. But keep going down. We shouldn't flip direction until let me just go back to the other time frame. Go back one more candle. Okay, cool. We shouldn't flip direction until we get down to here. This is a tiny range. This is literally a bait range to see if we're going to go higher. This is where it should actually go to, but this is still a bait range until we see if it's holding or not. You can kind of say this isn't a bait range though, because closed this range here did test into here. It's higher. This high is for this order block. This high is also for the same order block. So that's why you can still suspect it might come down. But this range holding, realistically, is the next one that needs to hold to continue the price action up. Because this one created the move all the way up. But like I said, we could still come down. We would just react off of what happens. But this range here shouldn't really hold. So what we can do with that information is look at the order block for the range. Order block for the range here. All it's going to do is flip direction. It might not even get us up to here. It might not get us up to where it should take us before it continues down. But this is what would attempt to flip that direction. So in theory, the actual target is all the way down to here for 2R. So it should flip. Not too much happens there. This is a trade you can take because we're not expecting this to hold. Or this range should just get blown through. If we're closing this low and we've got our stop loss in the right position, this is fine, but I'd only do it intra candle, to be honest. If not, I'd wait for the top range, because if you've not got an intra candle and then it comes back up, it's most likely going to blow here and go to where it should actually go to. Cool, so unless you got this intra candle, no, it didn't close. So what I was looking for is intra candle, close, test back up to at least the body, right? And then set that down for 1R. But now we're at the point it should flip up. Where's the lowest fair value gap? We don't have one. So actually no, this can still go lower. So if it does come up, there's no reason why we can't take this down, because we've not got to the lowest point of the range. Nothing's getting held here of importance. Doesn't take us up to there, so no entries at all. This didn't close, this did, so this can still flip direction up to here. So we just kind of just wait to see what happens. The close of this higher, so we can still test down. This didn't close, so this should only bring us down to here. Okay, now we can say we can go short, because now we've closed the low. Close the low down to either here or down here. Just react off of what happens. So let's get our levels. Our levels are high of this order block. Guess the high of the fair value gap. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. we could expect if this isn't equal, so that's 55. These are equal, so I won't expect anything to happen here really. You can actually, but it's just going to be, it won't last long if it does actually flip here. I don't believe it will, but it still can. Kind of depends how long this takes to push up. So let's go back on the 1 minute. Still expecting it to go all the way down to here. So getting the break below here is already telling us we can go lower. Okay, we've gone lower. We've got to the target. We didn't test this order block after we closed, so we can still hold here. This can definitely still get held. We're going to use this first range here as a bait range to try and long up. So we won't take any longs until something breaks and holds. Hasn't broke now. Okay, so it's still probably going to go lower. See if we can get down to here. Okay. So until a real target, a level starts to show real signs it's holding, we won't be longing. So we want to see some highs being broke and then order blocks being held. So broke here. If we broke here, right, you gotta look at it this way. If we broke here, why is this tiny range gonna hold? We broke this exterior high. The order block's here. It's the same with this as well. Why is this gonna hold? We still need to come down to here. In this instance, it did. So yeah, maybe you tried the midpoint of this candle here. If that was enough for you. When it got you filled, would have just got break even, but wait for the actual order block for the high to be tested. So stay out of these ranges here. These ranges don't go anywhere. They're just going to flip the direction. We've closed now, so this range isn't going to do anything. So what I want to see here is this actually holding, so I want to see this closed. This is closed. We can still sweep. So this closed, we using this as a bait range to see if this is holding. Because we have closed 3 lows since, so we're not going to get in the first break. Doesn't, sweeps. And there it sweeps. Goes straight up to target. There was no entries, but this is why you need to be looking at bait ranges. Wait for that first range to hold before you decide to take the trade. I'd rather miss out on the trade and take a stupid loss. So, closed, camera turned down, we haven't gone anywhere yet, we can still get a long. Just have to see if anything's holding. Quite a bad time to be doing this backtesting really. The market's really choppy, but regardless, got on a high time frame now, just to see what's happening. Great, I spoiled it for us, but we have to realize our target's here. Our target is here, like in this range, right? Our target's here, so we need to not see things like this break as a continuation play down, because we've got to our target now. So even if we break down, we're only looking for these things to potentially flip us down. We're not looking at it to continue us down, because we've already hit the target, being here or wherever. I think now we've got to the actual low of this range here. I'd no longer be looking at these closes as coming up to here, holding that to break down. I'll be looking at this as we've hit target. So now we've hit target, we should be coming all the way back up to here. So direction has now changed completely, from still trying to long off these levels, but now confirming the long, kind of, if we come up to here, don't hold, push above. So we do get there. We do break that. Whatever's been tested, this is only flip direction. Only flip direction momentarily. Okay, we've closed. We have this here, the order block. Midpoint of the order block, which is the high of this fair value gap. So we just look at these two things. What's happening on the 5 minute? 5 minute, the order block's all the way down here. We have the highest fair value gap there, which is this whole thing. 1 minute has to come all the way down. Doesn't test any of those. Closes to high. So we never return to this range, we still can do that. We can still hold this range. Can still hold it, so we'll see what happens off of there. But you have to realize we didn't test a range that broke us all the way up in the first place. So this could be an instance where we skip a range, go down. So what you could kind of look for to see if this is confirmed that this isn't going to hold. Obviously close and not testing today. If we've closed down, we can come back up and we can go down. If we've not got to there first, we can take a short off of that. We get there before anything happened, so that's fine. What you could do here as well is, don't need a bait range to show you're holding, because we've got to our target. Here's the thing, right? Even if this does not hold as if you want to see it as a bait range, doesn't hold as a bait range, you'd still be out. But because we already got to where I thought it could get to, before it tries to go higher, there's no real reason to go back down. This low got created after holding off this. It had to return to here after closing high. All these lows were going to get broken. None of these ranges were really going to hold. Coming down to here, take that trade up. Would have been out now, so even if it does flip and go lower, we should already be out anyway. Because there's still a world, right? Take it all the way back to the start of coming back down to this order block before we go higher. Let's get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, and get rid of this. Okay, if we look for some signs of failure, we are looking at close to here. Obviously the high is all the way up here. We didn't get all the way up there. We closed to here. Seeing if this holds as a bait range. Seeing if this holds as a bait range, it does. Closes. closed there. So if it tests back up, like so, you could take that down. Close the low for here as well. So this is what we're looking at. This level and this level. Whatever it holds off of is what we're reacting off of. This is holding. If that's holding, take this 2R, 1R, sorry, would just be the order block. So even if this does flip and try and go higher, we would be out by then. But there's nothing saying we will go higher. We closed a interior high to get to the exterior order block. This shouldn't do anything. If it does hold, it will just be for a minute or two. And it fails. So if we was looking for a continuation short, this is closed. Maybe we get a trade back up to here. So you can see if it does, is there any fair value gap? No. The disinversion fair value gap. So what we would do here is, if we was taking a trade off of the candle that gets created here, wherever the midpoint is, I think I'd be more comfortable if I just went with my stop loss at the higher. Just targeted 1R. Just like that. Instead of trying to get out of my target here, because if we're trying to hold off of this range, well, this is the same thing as trying to short a random range when we've not got to our target yet, because it can still go higher, because the actual order block's here. So I'd rather have my stop loss here. Tested into it now, so this range shouldn't really do much at all. It would flip direction momentarily. So wherever the midpoint of this candle was, if you could have got that, I'd be in that. If I couldn't, I'd be in this, because this is still quite low, still quite high in the range, so doesn't really matter. And we're just taking it down for 1R. Should be all the way down to here. This stop loss is going to work out a lot more than just having it here and just hoping for the best, because it can still go higher and then go down, because it will go a bit higher, test into here, and then stop you out. So to just be in the trade and also get rid of that possibility of it happening, just get in here and have your stop loss up where it should be for the range above. Cool, and then we get out there. So same thing again, closed, so we can come up to here. Don't look at these ranges at all, nothing's going to happen off of them. Look for the actual order block for the low that closed exteriorly, because this is interiorly. This closed just to get to here, right? Sorry, this range closed to get to here. Once this closes, we're here already, so there's still a possibility for us to go higher to the bearish order block before we go lower again. So that's what I'd be looking at. So we would continue those shorts unless we can finally see that direction has flipped to go higher. We're just looking to see what's holding here to take us all the way up. Cool, so no real trade could have been taken here. So order block's getting tested now, so we want to see if it's going to hold. Still a possibility we come all the way up to the order block of the whole entire range, but never got tested. This started this whole move down. We want to see what happens here. I'd still attempt a short off of here if there was a good entry. If not, I'd be waiting for the longer part, the more further away order block, which is right here. And now we have to start going on higher time frames. Cool. This is why you need to go on higher time frames, because we would have missed the whole point of this held. We closed, traded up, this held. This range has held. So everything in that range on the 1 minute, all the ranges on the 1 minute in this candle shouldn't do anything. It's not going to hold. So that can eliminate trying to take something off of here, because it already happened on the 5 minute. It already held, so it's not going to hold again. It's going to break. So if there's all these ranges here on the 1 minute and they haven't been tested and they don't hold, and you think why, go on a higher time frame and go, well, because it already held on a higher time frame. That's why it's not going to hold. Higher, low, tested in. So all the ranges in that yellow box I just had on my screen should get blown through, which they do. This range didn't get tested. That's why this one will hold. Didn't get tested here, right? Closed here, never came back up. It's coming up now, at the midpoint of it now. So even if direction is going up, this should still flip us to here. Closed here, so it should come to here, or the fair value gap, wherever, doesn't matter. So once this tests, we're looking to take a short, and we don't need a bait range there. So you could have done just that. If we've not hit target yet, let's get rid of this and this. Go into the 5 minute time frame. Okay. So to confirm the holding this fair value gap and not having to come down to here, I want to see the new high go. So this is the same level as the high, so I'll keep it on the screen. If I can hold, I can confirm some shorts up, because we closed the high. No reason to go lower. Close the new high, so now we're looking for trades back down to this range. Not got there yet, now we've got there. So once we get there, if you want a bait range, the bait range shows signs of holding, and then you'd wait for this range to hold. You'd wait for whatever test down to hold, and then get the next trade off of this closing and it coming back down. But for me, this should be the range it comes to. This is the one that held the fair value up. So once we test down and we gain a candle, cool. And 1R is literally just to the order block. So even if it was to flip and this bait range, if you want to see it as that doesn't hold, you should already be out anyway. Now this range should just get blown through because our direction's up. Yeah, we closed the high through it. Oh, sorry, we closed the low, but it shouldn't do anything. And on a higher time frame, we didn't actually close any low for it anyway. So we should close here. We never retested to this order block to closing the low. So this is our next target before a flip in direction again. So we can long all the way up to that. Attempts to flip, doesn't go far. This holds off of the high, which just shows an aggressive move higher, right? If you're holding the high, it's aggressive move up. This isn't holding off of this random range, it's holding off the high of the whole entire range to have an aggressive move up, which it does. Has that aggressive run up. Now we flip to a higher time frame and see where the next target is. If we're going to blow past this, in the grand scheme of things, this shouldn't even hold anyway. It was looking for a momentary flip in direction. It tried to give it to us, it didn't do too much. And you know, this closed to get to whatever's holding down here. So that wasn't going to do too much, and next target is here. Or the order block, just any level of it. Sorry, I just had to pause it there real quick. But yeah, we're seeing if this is going to hold. If not, on set to target. So we're not really looking for this to do too much anyway. Maybe it brings us down. It doesn't have to. It can just blow straight through. We're just reacting off of what happens, right? We just have to assume what's going to happen. So actual target's up here. It's a momentary flip direction. Like I say, the same thing I just said here. It might not momentary flip direction. It might just go all the way up. But anyway. Next target's up there, so we just keep doing it until we get there. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of some of the stuff here. Get rid of this now, we don't need this. Okay, cool. Highs here. So this is the higher for the range. Daily level, actual target all the way up here. So let's see. We need a bait range to hold to say this is doing anything. We have to come all the way down to close this low, so we're going to have to use this as a bait range when there's a high that gets put in. Never close, so obviously it's not going to go lower, so we're looking to go higher up to our target. Not at our target yet. Cool, we're at our target now. So once we're at our target, we're not looking at this range holding. Still can, probably won't, because this is what I'm saying. This is probably why a lot of trades you do lose on, because oh yeah, all of these seem to work, all these seem to work. Like, you know, if all these did trade back down, I'm sure these order blocks would have held. So why didn't the one I went for hold? Well, because you're flipping direction now, aren't you? That's why. If you're flipping direction, none of these are going to hold. And if they do, wait for it to hold, and then break that high, and then get that range. Don't get off of the first range that's probably going to break. This range has to show us it's still trying to hold to go even higher. So we're not taking a trade off of this range. But we still need a bait range to show us we're going lower. Cool. So closed here, just tried to hold, didn't do too much. We're at that range now, at the bottom range. Fair value gap, order block hasn't been tested yet. Been tested now. Only reason I would long this now, if I thought we was going to come up higher before lower, because we did close the level 4 up, is I'd only be taking this up to there to short down, because it's different taking it now than it was in this moment. because this moment you had no range above. Now we did, and we failed to go higher, and then we closed some lows. Or if we close this low, it should return back up before going lower, so we can use this range to get up to there. So we want to see if it's going to hold. If we don't want to see it's going to hold, we could just get straight into it. If it fails, we should already be out. Because let's say you went for the midpoint or the body, whatever you went for, I'm sure you would have locked up 1R. Yep, you would have got 1R and it would have failed and gone to the range below. Cool. So if we go into the higher time frame, we'll realise there's no low on the 5 minute. The low's all the way down here. So this isn't a real range. That's what you're going to miss if you don't go on a higher time frame. There's a range here. Isn't a real range on the 5 minute. So that's what I'd kind of be looking at, is maybe it just brings us up to here and goes down. It didn't do that, it doesn't have to. Just don't take spontaneous trades off of something. So where is the real range? But the first real range is down here. First real range is here. This order block, the low is here for it. So if we hold this, I'm not really looking for this to hold us to go lower. If anything, this should, because there's an actual range here. And if we don't close this low, this is the only thing we can use to go lower. It isn't the best looking range or anything, so just don't take a trade in it if it doesn't look good. Failed to go lower. Didn't hold with this. It's now broken. Is going higher. So what we would do now is we want a bait range to show us it is a hold-in to go lower still, because like I said, if we look on this, there's no real range here. No real low got closed. So moving back up to here. Oh, it's just holding off of the 4 hour again, which was the target. So what we can see here is a range has been closed. So if this fails, then we can go lower, because this is showing us that this is holding. If we're closing higher but then it fails immediately, well then there's no reason to go higher, is there? We're most likely gonna go lower. So 1 minute. In this moment here, with that being said, you could take a short down to here. There was actually a reason to take a short as well. It was a small range, closed. This is the first range. So I would do this, you should do this. Get 1R. If you don't want to do that and you want the bait range to hold, well this is the bait range. So you'd wait for that. But by the time that holds, you're at target anyway. So you'd have to just miss out on the whole thing. Until there's a new range, which is right here. You got lucky here, because there would have been a new range. Actually there wasn't, there was no high. There was no high. So there was no real range got closed. Now you're at target. You're trying to see if this is going to hold to try and flip direction up. If not, we do break here, and then it's confirming we are going lower. So we want this to break, then we can long up to this range. That would be the whole game plan. So we've closed. We're looking for that first range to hold. So closed. Looking for this range to hold. Create a new range. Close now. Go on a higher time frame. Close. So we should be longing all the way up until this point. That's our target right now, is this level. Before we can make any assumptions on where it's going. Okay, so what can we expect? Trying to react for this range, hold him. Order block low, equal lows. So we can take a trade off of whatever holds off of this range. Haven't tested the order block yet. Tested it now. Cool, swept it and broke it. So I mean, this is still fine for me because in the grand scheme of things, target's all up here. This is a interior 1 minute break when we have an exterior 5 minute break, which is here. So this, unless we get about this holds and then the next one holds, I'm still going to assume that this means nothing, and this can take us up to here. But 1R would just be to this daily. Cool, and we're out for 1R. Have we got to our target yet? Nope. Close this. This should only flip direction down, so we can use this range if this fails to close. If it does close, we're still going to use that range regardless anyway. We came down. Lowest fair value gap. Held. Order block hasn't been tested. Go into higher time frame. Order block is being held before the high is closed. So in this moment, this is the order block. We're holding inside of that, coming to the fair value gap. So we could just take a trade off of this holding. This is a big candle though to take a trade off of. I'm not a fan of taking trades off of big candles, but this would be your setup. If you don't want to take that because you think you can still go lower, wait for this high to go and then take the trade off of that. It's gone. Okay, so now you would take it. Now there's no reason to not take this. That would be the trade you go for. If you gain this. Hasn't gained it yet, you can see the rejection. Once it gains. If you missed that, only real option if you still want to get a trade is this. Don't see this as a bad trade, especially if you was trading at 10 AM. Because to get 1R, it's still not your target anyway. So what's actually wrong with this? Cool. So we can take it again if it comes down before it hits target. But it's hit target now. Shallowly missed it actually. That's the 1 minute though. If we go on to the 5 minute, also did miss it as well. If we go on to the 15 minute, closed. Okay, we closed that. With a 15 minute midpoint of the order block is down. So whatever gets held is what we react off of. Okay, so if we want this to be confirmed, it doesn't have to go any higher than this. Use this first thing as a bait range. This shouldn't do anything realistically if this is going to hold. So I wouldn't be taking, this is what I'm saying, this is why now this long isn't going to work. Because we've now hit the targets. And you just take an immediate loss off of taking these trades here. Okay, so we've came up now. We've came up after closing this. So as long as we don't take this out, we should still go lower. So once we gain a candle, to gain a candle like this, has it been gained? Not yet. Been gained now. Does it test back into it? By looks it, no. So this is what I would have done. We're taking this here. Once we're black all the way down here and we gain the candle, most would have got out of that as break even, because you don't want to see it come back up after gaining. But if you was waiting for the candle to get closed below, you wouldn't have got an entry because it didn't close, it just fell straight down. So you either take the midpoint of the candle, you break even. Obviously if you take a midpoint, you break even a lot faster. If you're waiting for the order block open, well, there was no point where it gained it before it went down. Going to the 15-minute time frame. Our target's here. Remember, long term we want to go up, but this should flip us down to something. This brought us up to here, so it should flip us somewhere down here at the very least. It doesn't have to, but at the very least we should go to here. So that being said, our first target is obviously here. First target's here. Maybe this closes and tries to hold off for something, but until we get there we can short. Go to higher time frame. Cool, so this closed. We could see something like a trade back up to here before we go lower. If we want to see signs that the low's holding aggressively, we're going to 1 minute. What's happening? Well, we're continuously closing lows here by the looks of things. Failed to close this high and then close this low. So movement back up to this order block is something you can take, and I would take that. There's no reason to go higher right now because we're holding the low aggressively. So what can we take? Well, nothing yet actually, to be honest. I don't like these big candles. Kind of just might have to just wait for this to close, if anything. Kind of it's a choppy range right now. I'd rather just miss a trade in this type of range. Just dismiss it. There's going to be another one soon. Until now, this is fine. Closed here. Sorry, closed the first low that we was holding for a long time. So look for the order block. couple of the order blocks here. This already held, so just look for the most recent one here. So then we can look at midpoint of this candle. Go okay. We still go lower. We've gone choppy for a while. We finally broke the low that's holding us. What's the high that's holding us? Here. This didn't close. But the low did, so we've got a direction now. Cool, there's your 1R. 1R didn't have to go far at all. So our first target is here. We've broke target. We're just looking to see if this, what it's going to do. Is it going to close and then go higher before lower again, or is it just going to go straight lower? If we want to continue shorts and look for an entry, wait for signs that it's holding. So wait for this range to hold and then this close and then get that range off of that. If not, and you don't want to take that still, just don't do anything till you get to target, or don't do anything till you get back up. So let's move forward. So if we want to short, I want this to hold and then break low down. Doesn't break a low down, it continues higher until now. Okay, so here's what we have. We have this here. We can hold this. If it does come up to it, go into 5 minutes, see what's happening. The low just closed now. So as of now, there's no real reason to go higher. It still can close a low. Haven't closed the actual low though. So if you want to wait for the actual low to close, that's going to work 10 times more likely than an interior low. It's the same thing on the 1 minute, isn't it? If your real target's here, anything above that can still work, but it can still get blown straight through. So, didn't show any signs of holding, so you couldn't have got a trade anyway. If we're closing exterior highs and we're not closing interior lows, exterior lows, well then our target's up here now, right? So let's wait for price to trade back down. Any reason to go up aggressively? No, we're not holding the high. So what we can do, we can already look at shorts to go lower. Knowing full well if you're going this high up, most likely you'll get stopped out. If you want to wait for the order block to get gained, that's going to work out a lot more likely. So just wait. Test into anything? Not yet on the 5 minute, have we? Highest fair value gap. We already tested into it there, so we can still go higher. So we can either, like I said, just wait for the gain in of the order block, which would have been here now, so you would be in, or you're waiting for us to just go all the way back up to here. For me, this is fine. This range is going to do absolutely nothing, in my opinion, because we're closing exterior highs. Once we close highs, we should return down. Closing interior higher after that is normally just getting more liquidity before going lower. We'd have taken an unfortunate loss there, unfortunately, but the idea was correct. It's a shame, but anyway. Now we long. We don't need anything to hold. because direction's down, but we should at least get up to here. Well, we think our direction's down, it can just break straight up. But we're looking to see if this holds. So I'd wait for this bait range to hold. Okay, bait range didn't even hold, it went straight down, but we created equal lows. Did we close this? No, so there's a world where this doesn't hold. We blow straight through. Holding aggressively off the high as well, that's another kind of sign you are just gonna try to break above. 15-minute time frame. If we blow here, target's up here. But we can still come down after blowing here to either the highest fair value gap or down. The 5 minute, we could kind of already see that price was going higher anyway. Even though we thought it was going to go lower. This is why you have to be looking at your time frames. Closed here, never returned to the order block. This is the order block. Closed here, didn't return to the order block, but turned to the 15-minute order block. So we're not looking at this, we're looking at this. So there's 130 news, but if it wasn't and we hit target and we closed here, well, we think we're going to go lower before higher. So if this candle wasn't so big, we could have taken that down to here, wherever 1R is. Can obviously still take it. That'd be 1R. But now we should flip and go higher because what? We haven't hit target yet. Target's breaking here. So we haven't hit that target yet. We haven't broke that target. So why can't we do the same thing again? Do you want to wait for the order block? Fair enough, don't take it, but this would be the next thing. And we've gone higher now. And is that target or is this target? I think this was target. Okay, we've hit target and the actual exterior target. So now we're looking to short down. It's just back and forth all the time. Once you close it higher, you're looking to short back down. Whatever holds higher to do that is what you're taking shorts off of. Same thing on the other side. You're closing lows. You're looking to see if the order blocks are going to hold to go lower. So we are looking to come all the way back down. Hit that target now. Same thing again, right? Why is this going to hold? Hit target. We should come all the way down. No entry yet to go down. Haven't tested into anything. Unfortunately, it's one of those moves that don't give you an entry anyway. But we would be shorting all the way down until we get to the target. The target is the order block and the low. Because you can still hold the range and close the order block, you can just sweep. So, unfortunately again, no entry. Still can if it comes down again. If not, you'd just be missing out on the whole thing. Did we close? No, so this should only flip direction momentarily. So I wouldn't really be looking for any shorts now. Now it did close the higher, so we can test all the way back down. So this range is not going to hold at all. Just the same thing over and over and over again. So, any reason to go lower if we're holding the 5-minute fair value gap? There's no reason to come back down to here then, right? What confirms that? It's going to be this. Let me just push higher. Cool. But yeah, I hope that video helps. This video helps a bit. This direction, and staying out of these ranges here. The first range below after closing something. Just anticipating it's just going to hold for no reason at all. You need to go lower after you close something. It's not just going to magically hold this. It's the same with going down as well. If you close a target and there's a small range above, you're not just going to magically hold that. Just like this. Let's say, oh, I mean this swept anyway. So if it's closed, it should come up to here. Why is this going to hold? This isn't anything. It's just a random range. Because you close it doesn't mean anything. There's a few more examples and I'll just end it there. Cool. Closed. It's got a high time frame. It's got a high time frame. That's kind of easier to see. Direction here is closed. There would be a random 1 minute range in here. Close, we should test back down. Right, 15 minute, where can we go? Here, at the very least, we can go to. So if we know that, why are we longing off of these ranges? Yeah, sometimes it will still work, and in this case it did. But they're not going to work that often. We need to go lower first. And you're going to keep getting blown out of the water if you keep doing that. The moment a lower high closes, don't look for the first range. First range above that to hold to continue down. Once your exterior target is closed, now the direction is flipped. It's not going to magically hold and continue down. But yeah, that is it.